could keep us on track, because I think, actually, I think I should be able to pull it up now since I'm on audio from the phone. I didn't know if I had too many things open. That's why I couldn't. There was a lag. But I'm trying to pull up the agenda properly. If you are watching from home and want to directly see our agenda, it is available online at anc5d.org.
And I just posted the link in the chat.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, ladies, gentlemen, and familia, this is ANC 5D's monthly public meeting. This is the month of July. We're meeting here and convening at 7:05 p.m. I'm going to go ahead and do our call to order and roll call. I call this meeting to order at 7:05 p.m. as the chair for ANC 5D. My name is Commissioner Salvador Saucedo Guzman, and starting off with roll call, we'll start with 5D01. Okay, I don't see 5D01 present. 5D02.
Present.
5D03.
I'm here.
5D04.
Here.
5D05, I'm present. 5D06.
Present. Here.
5D07. I don't see them present. They're absent. 5D08. And 5D09.
Here.
Thank you, Commissioner. So we have how many absents today? We have Commissioner Arbuckle, Commissioner McCollum, and Commissioner Holzendorf. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Perfect. So we have quorum tonight, so anything that we do vote on, we are able to pass with this commission tonight. With that being said, I would like to move to adopt the agenda so we can move forward with tonight's meeting. There have been some changes to tonight's agenda as presented originally to the public 7 days in advance of tonight's meeting. I would like to make a motion to remove 2 items and add 1 to tonight's agenda. One of those items is a requested presentation from Cure the Streets by Alicia Jackson. She'll be presenting at a later date, as well as adding Christine Dupree from the Langston Family Support Collaborative that's in Langston Dwellings. I would like to make those changes to requested presentations and remove the proposal for business cards. At this time, we don't have a solid figure for that purchase. Can I get a second on this motion?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Roblin. All in favor of this change, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. And any abstentions?
I'm sorry.
Okay, motion carries.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
go ahead, Commissioner.
Do a roll call because I don't know if I'm not sure if we got all the ayes. Did we get all the ayes?
Oh, okay.
I didn't hear everybody.
We can go ahead. We can go ahead and do roll call just to confirm for the minutes. 5D02,
Aye.
5D03,
Aye.
5D04, Commissioner Hosley, you there?
Yes, I said aye. Sorry if it was delayed.
You're fine. 5D05, aye. 5D06,
Aye.
and 5D09.
Aye.
Perfect. So the motion carries, and we'll make those adjustments. Commissioners, are there any other additional changes that we need to make to tonight's meeting? Okay, not hearing any requests, we'll go ahead and move forward. For the public, tonight's going to be a quick meeting. We don't have many items to discuss today. We do have some important presentations so the public's aware of some information, especially that we're in July in the midst of the summer. It's good to be on top of some of these things and let alone know some of the resources and actions taking place in South Ward 5. So with that being said, our next item on the agenda is change of an executive officer. Commissioner Arbuckle has resigned as secretary as well as co-chair of the zoning committee as he recently did a few months prior. And with that being said, we need to approve this resignation and select a new officer to be secretary. So I move that we accept Commissioner Arbuckle's resignation as secretary. Can I get a second on this motion?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Rhodes. Is there a need for discussion?
That was Commissioner Campbell. I know we probably sound alike.
Oh, sorry, I didn't have my screen down. Second by Commissioner Campbell. Sorry, it's my phone. I can't really, maybe I'll turn this up. Any need for discussion? Okay, not hearing a need, we'll just do the roll call for the meeting minutes. 5D02,
Yes.
5D03,
Yes.
5D04,
Yes.
5D05, I'm a yes. 5D06,
Yes.
Real quick, I did have a quick question. Are we on the approval of the meeting minutes for April or what is the motion? Sorry.
the motion is to accept Commissioner Arbuckle's resignation.
Got it. All right. Aye.
5D09.
Yes.
Okay, the ayes carry. We'll accept that resignation. With that being said, we need to replace the officer with another commissioner. I move that we nominate Commissioner Roblin for the position. I think that with our administrative team that we have in place right now, Commissioner Roblin will be able to manage this role for the remainder of this term, which is this year, ending on January 1st. With that being said, I'll place the motion on the floor and then we can open a discussion for 3 minutes and have a vote. So my motion is to nominate and have Commissioner Roblin become our new Executive Officer Secretary for ANC 5D. Can I get a second on this motion?
Second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Rhodes. I'll open a 3-minute discussion. Commissioner Roblin, do you have comments or feedback on this motion?
I'm willing to do it. I was not like very excited about doing it. I sort of prefer not to, but it just seems like it's better to do it. So I'm good.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Any other comments or feedback from the commissioners?
I just want to say thanks to Commissioner Roblin for stepping up. We've been needing someone that's willing, even though it might be difficult, at least you stepped up and you're willing to do the job. So we appreciate it.
Thank you, Commissioner. I appreciate that.
Yes, likewise. The position was faltering a bit this year, and we're happy that this transition is happening. With that being said, are there any final comments or remarks regarding this motion? Okay, hearing none, we'll go ahead and do a vote. 5D02,
Yes.
5D03,
Abstain.
5D04,
Yes.
5D05, yes. 5D06,
Yes.
5D09.
Yes.
Perfect. The ayes carry and that motion passes. Congratulations, Commissioner Roblin. You're officially on the executive team, and we can carry on our work as we've been doing this year. You've been You've been overseeing some things on the back end, and it's good to see you not on the front end. With that being said, carrying on with the agenda, we have the adoption of the May and June minutes. This will be managed now through our secretary, Commissioner Roblin, and overseen by me as the chair. We have May minutes and June minutes linked in the agenda. Were there any questions or comments from the commissioners before we approve the minutes?
I need to make one change to it. On the May meeting, the OANC allotment was received on May 1st, but at the time I checked the account earlier in the day. So just that quick update just to say that the ANC allotment was received on May 1st.
Okay, so we want to make a change to the May meeting minutes stating that?
Yes, and I can move to do that if folks
Yeah,
are
if you can
okay
make a
with that.
motion.
Okay, so I would like to make a motion to amend the May meeting minutes to state that as of May 1st, the OANC allotment for Q3 was received.
Okay,
Can I
there's a
get a
motion on the
second?
floor by Commissioner Craig. Can she get a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Campbell. All in favor of this motion, say aye.
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 You're muted, Commissioner Roblin. Oh, we lost you for a second. Did we lose you, Commissioner Roblin?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Oh, she unmuted.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I got messed up on my phone. Aye. Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So the ayes carry, motion passes. Any other comments or questions on the meeting minutes as presented and amended tonight? Okay, not hearing any, I'll make a motion that we approve tonight's meeting. Oh, go ahead.
Real quick, one additional thing, just because we already, we're about to vote. If we can just add in a signature block. The OANC needs like a signature after the secretary approves it, so that I can upload that to the portal. So just kind of adding that in there too. I forgot about that piece.
Oh,
Sorry,
we can
guys.
add that after we approve. We don't need to make a
Yeah.
motion for that.
Mhm. Okay, all right, cool.
Perfect. So I move that we approve the May and June meeting minutes as amended tonight on July 8th, 2025. Can I get a second on this motion?
Second.
Okay.
Second by Commissioner Campbell. She's coming in with a second. Can I get, they'll do the roll call, 5D02,
Yes.
5D03,
Yes.
5D04,
Yes, with the note that I wasn't present for the May, so I abstained from May. Thanks.
you're abstained. 5D05 is a yes, 5D06,
Yes.
and 5D09.
Yes.
Okay, the ayes and yeses have it, and the motion carries. We've approved those minutes, and we'll get them signed by our secretary. Okay, moving along with the agenda, we're just a few minutes behind. We have the treasurer's monthly report, which includes the quarterly financial report and request to reissue a check.
All right. So hold tight. I'm going to pull up my screen real quick. All right. So I'll go through the QFR, the quarterly financial report for FY25 Q3, which comprises of April, May, and June. 1 second. And can you all let me know when you can see my screen?
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
Perfect. So the ANC 5B April beginning balance was $55,378.33. Throughout the month of April, we spent funds on communications and some other budgeted items, and that totaled $4,040.55. So we had an ending April balance of $51,337.78. For the month of May, we had a beginning balance of $51,337.78. We actually did not spend any money in the month of May, but we did receive our OANC allotment on May the 1st. So we had an ending May balance of $57,000.86. For the month of June, there's a lot here, so sorry in advance, but we had a beginning balance of $57,000.86, and we had an ending balance of $49,503.59. So the month of June was fairly busy. Spent money on the April admin and social media work for the folks we have hired for that. We had to reissue some checks, and we had to void some checks throughout the process just due to an account issue that occurred. And we had to pay the OANC for the May hybrid meeting setup equipment. And that was a technology equipment that should be reimbursed to us, and for the Verizon and communications bills. So the beginning balance was $57,000.86. We spent $7,497.27. So we have an ending balance of $49,503.49. So for our quarterly FY25 Q3 quarterly financial report, we started in April with $55,378.33, and we ended with $49,503.59. We had to do some reissuing and voiding of some checks, which kind of had to balance itself out with the way we have to report the information. But the total month's expenditures that we spent throughout the month was $12,612.36. And we also have some additional deposits just because of how the portal itself is set up, just due to some of the voided checks. We had to void 3 checks, so that ended up being kind of a balancing act. So I will pause to see if there are any questions right now.
Commissioner McCray, can you confirm when our next allotment is?
Yeah, I would need to look. Give me 1 second.
I think it's coming up this fall. How many do we have left for this year? 1?
We might be in FY26 at this point with the allotment. Hold tight.
Okay. While you're doing that, I will share with the public that the director of the Office of ANC did share with me today that the allotments that we receive due to the budget chaos, I'll say, that's been happening this year, there was rumors that potentially our allotments would change, but he did share that most likely that will not happen. So that's some good news for us, that we're going to still be able to receive the same funds that we've been receiving for the community to use. And as some of y'all have seen with the numbers that were shared, we have a good amount. So if you're in need of potentially a grant or looking for some beautification projects in your neighborhood, as we're doing on Mount Olivet, which is a need for public safety efforts, feel free to reach out so we can work together and get that happening. But just be aware that when we do spend money provided by the ANC, the expenditures cannot be duplicative, which means the district cannot already be providing such services. And also the expenditures must be a benefit for the community, not for a specific business, property, block, or owner of some kind. So we're available to share that as long as it's being shared equitably across 5D. And that doesn't mean that you can't request funds for resource fair or community engagement efforts. It just means that we have to be mindful of how we share these funds because we're getting them from the government.
Hi, Commissioner. We have one question in the Q&A, which is what was the beautification project in June?
Yes, that was our beautification project that I just mentioned on Mount Olivet. I submitted a proposal to have a mural placed on the boxing gym on Mount Olivet Road to beautify that space that's been facing some really heavy stuff these last few months. And we're currently working on the project. We have the muralist. He's still working on renditions, and hopefully we'll have that mural done this month. Were you able to get that, Commissioner McCray? If not, we'll come back to that.
Yes, so as of June 25th, the memo was prepared by the OANC. So we should be receiving it probably in the next month or so. Okay. Likely after we submit the meeting minutes and everything from this current QFR.
Perfect. Okay, are there any other questions for the monthly report and quarterly financial report? Are there any in the Q&A? Don't see one. Okay. Thanks, Annie, for reminding me about the Q&A. I didn't mention it earlier. For those that have any questions, they will not be read from the chat. Please use the Q&A function. That's what it's there for. And if you're one of our seniors, feel free to use the raise your hand function so we can allow you to speak directly because we know technology is sometimes a little complicated, and we still want you to make sure that your voice is heard. With that being said, we do have a request to reissue a check, Commissioner McCray.
Yes, so due to some of the voided checks, there was a fee that was incurred due to a stop check scenario that happened because the bank account basically got frozen. So some of the checks that were issued have to be reissued for that stop check fee. So my request is to issue the overpayment. So for 2 checks for our social media admin, 2 checks were basically voided in the process of issuing those checks. So I'm requesting to have $50 written to the social media, our social media admin, so that he can get that stop check fee reimbursed to him. So I moved to have that amount reimbursed. And just to not put their information out there, I do have the substantiating documentation. So if anyone has any questions about that, I can send that along to you. I just didn't want to put their information on the screen. So I'll pause just to see if there's any questions.
Oh, there's a motion on the floor. I second the motion. We'll open the discussion if there are questions. Okay, there's a motion on the floor to allocate $50 for a reimbursement, not a reimbursement, I'm sorry, $50 to pay for fees that were imposed for a return check to our admin specialist, our social media specialist. We'll go ahead and do roll call for this motion. 5D02.
Yes.
5D03.
Yes.
5D04.
Yes.
5D05 is a yes. 5D06.
Yes.
And 5D09.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries and that passes. Commissioner McCray, as treasurer, you can issue that check.
All right, sounds good. And I just need to do one more motion for the QFR, if that's okay.
Go ahead.
All right, so I just motion and put forth, after seeing all the information, to move that we approve the FY25 Q3 QFR. And I just need the signature of the secretary and the chair after that. But I move that we approve the QFR.
Okay. Motion on the floor to approve the QFR as presented to the public today. Can we get a second for Commissioner McCray?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Campbell. All in favor of this motion, say aye.
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 Commissioner Hosler, did we hear you?
Yes.
Aye. Oh, you said yes? Okay, thank you. Motion carries and motion passes. Thank you, Commissioner McCray. Okay, with that being said, we have our committee reports and then our commissioner reports, followed by our report from the 5th District Metropolitan Police Department. Are there any reports from our chairs for their committees? I do have a quick report for our zoning committee. Myself and Skip Keats, the co-chair for the zoning committee, met last month to review some upcoming projects and some better ways of handling things for the zoning committee. At this time, we do have one pending item for Ivy City, 5D02, that will be voted on in September. The developers have been advised on the request to meet with us at our zoning committee meeting and also our COW meeting. So that's moving in motion. Looks like it's a fairly, I wouldn't say easy project because none of these projects are easy, but a not so complicated matter to review. So looking forward to that. We also have a very new BZA matter that's been presented on Moore Street. It's fairly new. They still do not have a hearing at this time. So we requested them to get back to us once they do have a hearing date and once they've actually engaged community. So if there's any developers on the meeting, just to see how we handle things, we do want you to approach us once you actually talk to residents and neighbors in the surrounding area of the projects that you are requesting special exemptions for. So that's a quick update on the zoning matters at this time. Are there any other commissioners that want to update on their committees? Commissioner Roblin?
Yeah, thank you. So, hi, I'm Anna Roblin. I'm chair of the Trash and Beautification Committee. So I just wanted to give a few updates. We now have cleanups every first Sunday of the month, leaving from the Trinidad Farmers Market between 9:30 and 11 a.m. The Trinidad Farmers Market is in the parking lot of Joe Cole Rec Center at 1299 Neal Street. And we'll have at least one other cleanup each month as well. I'm not sure yet when the other July one will be. And I know Commissioner McCray is having one on the 19th of July, leaving from L Street. And I believe that you, Commissioner Saucedo Guzman, you have cleanups once in a while. And I think Commissioner Rhodes said she may be planning to have cleanups in Ivy City. So if anyone has any, and if anyone has any feelings like you would like to focus on cleaning up a particular area, please let me know and we can do that. I'm really looking for input from the community, so we can work together to get the areas that you all want cleaned. So just contact me. I'm at 202-651-0581 or 5D03@anc.dc.gov. We formed a new watering group to water trees in Joe Cole Park because many trees have died there because of the lack of water. And we're thinking of increasing the purview of that group to watering trees in other parts of 5D. We're not sure if we're going to be doing a lot of that. Right now, the focus is more the trees in Joe Cole Park. We also have long-term plans to put a food forest in Trinidad Rec Center, and we will check out the possibility of having either a community garden or a food forest at Joe Cole Rec. We're working with Josh Singer, who's DPR's community garden person. And unfortunately, Josh cannot begin the planning process until the fall because he's just too busy until then. Our committee's planning meetings are every third Tuesday at 7:15. We always have the same Zoom link. Let me know if you'd like to join us. Reminders go out in the 5D newsletter. If you're not on the newsletter, I want to plug that. The newsletter is really informative. We're going to send digests of mail that agencies and organizations forward to us, asking us to send to us forward, asking us to forward them to the community. And I think we probably are going to be putting our meetings on the website as well. I hope that'll happen soon. So, and if you're interested in any aspect of beautification and cleanups in 5D, just contact me. I'll put my info in the chat again. And if you'd like to join us in watering other parts of other trees and other parts, or like just knocking on doors and talking to neighbors and saying, hey, you have a tree here. Are you interested in doing any watering? So that's about it. Thanks for listening, and hopefully we can just do a lot more in the future. Thanks.
Commissioner Roblin, we do have a question, and part of it was directed to Commissioner G. Campbell. The commissioner needs assistance in Carver Langston, particularly in a couple sites that are kind of riddled with trash. Commissioner Campbell, can you remind us what the spots are? Because I think that would be a great target area. And Skip Keats also recommended I Street and 19th Street over there as well.
Okay.
Did you have recommendation, Commissioner Campbell, for an area? And I think you, in the past, you referenced the area that was originally taken over by some of the trailers.
Yeah, I haven't been over there, and but I'm gonna have to check again because I have been calling 311 and they actually have been coming around cleaning up. But I'm gonna have to check in because
Okay,
I
good.
know like on 21st of M Street be having an issue down there by like they be dumping stuff, but I'm gonna have to check again. But I was gonna do that this weekend, so I'm not 100% sure if they have done it again. But I know 21 M Street definitely be needing to clean up by the Arboretum
Okay.
and
Okay. Oh, great. So I Street and 19th Street and 21st and M. Can you all
yes,
hear me? Okay, great. So we'll do that. We're going to focus there. Thanks so much, everybody.
you're welcome.
And just for
And
clarification,
Oh, I was just gonna say, Commissioner Campbell, if you wanna partner for the 17th, we can. I have C. Sosa coming out to assist with the cleanup on July 19th, and that's gonna be at 19th and L Street. So I know it's a little bit further up the hill, so I don't know if folks wanna walk, but we can potentially send some volunteers from C. Sosa down that way if it'll be helpful in terms of cleaning.
Okay, we can get together.
Yeah, no, I'll reach out after this.
Okay.
and just to confirm, Commissioner Roblin, the Saturday, July 19th meetup is a community cleanup at Wheatley?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. Yeah, the the Wheatley Student Community Organization, SCO, has a cleanup every single third Saturday. I think it's from like 9 to 11, or 9 to 11:30. And contact me and I can connect you. But yeah, they work in the park behind Joe Cole and behind Wheatley School. That's where they clean up in that park.
Okay, perfect. And can you clarify what a food forest is?
I'm not actually even totally sure myself, but like I think a food forest is just where you have a lot of different plants. Does anybody know? And then you just go and like I think it's open for people to just go and take the fruit and the vegetables.
pretty much an edible garden that's access to the public.
I think so.
Okay. And then we do have a question from Mr. Lee, Mr. Clarence Lee. Can we have the trees removed from the Trinidad Recreation Field fence line? Solid no, Mr. Lee. I'm a big stickler not to remove any of our trees in Trinidad. We have a lot of dying trees. I'm trying to keep the ones that are alive, but I can make a promise to clean them up, to make them prettier and just make them look like trees, because those trees, yes, that was one of the very first things I did when I was a commissioner. I trimmed those trees up, and they definitely need some help. So thanks for bringing that to my attention. I'll make sure to take care of that. Okay. With that being said, we don't have any other questions from the public in the Q&A, and I don't see any hands raised. Thank you, Commissioner Roblin. Are there any other committee reports?
Yeah, I just want to give a quick report about the Environmental Justice Committee. We are, and I could have did this in my ANC report, but we have a couple of fellows that's working with us. We are if you see us in a community doing some installations, we are putting up purple air monitors around Ivy City. And we're doing that to monitor the air, the particulate matter 2.5, which is a particle small enough to be able to go in your lungs through your nose or your mouth and can cause health issues. As I've been reporting, Ivy City is one of the most polluted communities in the city. And if anyone from Ivy City is here on the line, please contact me at 5D02@anc.dc.gov if you are willing to host a purple air monitor. We want to do the outskirts. We want to cover Mount Olivet, which we did put one up at the gym. The boxing gym, we put one at Bethesda Baptist Church. We are trying to get one on New York Avenue, if someone can help us there, and West Virginia Avenue. We're trying to get one there. The issue is we're having to get permission from the building's owners and not the people who own the business, which is a difference. So that there is an odor coming from the Lewis Crow Park Northeast Boundary Tunnel Project area. We have, if you smell that odor, please put in a 311 so it can be investigated. I gave that information to Christian Stargill, our moker, and hopefully someone will investigate it soon. Folks have been putting in 311 about that odor. And also, if you smell any odors, put in the 311 so DOEE can come out and do an investigation. If you see any illegal dumping, please put in a 311 for that, and also send me the request numbers at 5D02@anc.dc.gov. And I think that's about it. We're going to try to get a community cleanup. Please, everybody do cleanups in your communities because that is an environmental issue. We want to keep our neighborhoods clean, our blocks clean, and clean up in front of your homes if you can. Thanks.
And Commissioner Rose, just to confirm before we move on to the next item on the agenda, is there any chance of getting air monitors in Langston?
Well, we're doing them in Ivy City. That's a project that we're doing around our community. If you want to do a project like that in the Langston community, then we can talk about it. But it's in partnership with Howard University, Trinity College, and UMD. So we can talk about it. We can check out and see if the air in the Langston community is toxic and polluted. And if we find that out, then maybe we can put a monitor there and, look and see what's going on out there.
Okie dokes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're 14 minutes behind schedule, so we're moving forward with our commissioner reports. If you don't have a report, feel free to pass, but we'll go ahead and start with 5D02.
I do have a report. I just want everybody to get involved with the comp plan. The comp plan is a 20-year plan for our city and for our communities. Please get involved. Go under the Office of Planning. That determines how our communities are built, and we should be the ones that determine that, not people that work for the Office of Planning. They need our input and they need suggestions and ideas. Please stay with that plan, that planning process throughout the end. Also for the Ivy City Resiliency Strategy Plan, we have been working on that all year. There will be a comment period for that, a 30-day comment period. We will notify you all when that happens so that you all can have input on that. And also what Commissioner Saucedo Guzman was talking about, the BZA matter, that's 2002 Fenwick Street, which is the culture, I guess it's sort of like a club. Anyway, I met with the developers and all they wanted was a special exception for the parking. There's no parking. It's only public parking around that area where Fenwick and Okie is. So that should be okay. Also, they wanted they're connected to another building, the Ivy City Smokehouse and the Ivy City Market, which already have they already have events there, so they're not going to be disturbing anybody. And that's about it. We met already, which was great. The owner is cool. They came before us and did a presentation about the Vera restaurant, and we approved that. So I'm with it. That should be okay, and we should be talking to them again at the zoning committee and in September. That's all for me. If anybody want to reach me, you know how. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Rhodes. 5D03.
Hi, I'm Anna Roblin, 5D03. So like Commissioner Saucedo Guzman.
Did we lose her or is that me?
She's frozen.
I also have lost her as well.
Okay. It might be a while, so to nick the time, 5D04.
Good evening, Nathan Hustler, 5D04. Not a lot to report yet. As noted last time, still getting in the flow, was filling a vacancy situation. There was a conversation around a possible block party mid-August on basically Montello and Holbrook Terrace on the east side of Montello, next to Javo's. The last I heard, there was a request for funds, and Commissioner Saucedo Guzman was checking in about where we could, like what parts could be covered by our funds. So I think that's all at the moment. Thanks.
Perfect. Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Roblin, are you back?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I got kicked off. I don't know how that happened. I have a possible project.
Oh, no, every time she starts. Oh no, Commissioner. Well, we'll come back. 5D05, I'm in North Trinidad, which covers the areas of West Virginia, 11th Place, Montello, Sims,
in the
Rom,
country.
Mid, Childress, and 16th Street. We'll come back to you, Commissioner Roblin. I'll finish my report and then we'll come back to you. Just want to make sure your internet's stable and consistent because we lost you again. Currently, we have some public safety issues that we've been dealing with since June. We've had a series of events of violent crime happen back to back in 5D05. Not me sharing this one, ambulance is passing by. We have had police presence excessive police presence to make them present in the community. But as you may have noticed, that police presence has dwindled as as we expected. That is only available for a certain amount of time in terms of resources allocated to certain events. We do appreciate the police department for able to provide the services that they could at the time. I did speak with the commander that was in charge last week, Commander Conboy, in regarding to deployment. Commissioner Roblin was present with me. Maybe Lieutenant Otero can comment, but we did request a review of placement of police for Police Service Area 506, because we are having issues in Ivy City with some bad drug sales that are affecting not only Ivy City, but Trinidad, specifically Northern Trinidad, as well as what I believe was a malplacement of a police officer stationed at the corner of Montello at Rom. When I see the police officer there, the majority of the time, they're always on their phone, which we typically see with police officers that are in their cars. I mean, what else are you going to do besides, look at the clock? But I requested the commander to see if he can place the car, literally just move it in reverse 20 feet to be in the exact pathway of our highway of a lot of criminal activity that happens in 5005, the alleyway that cuts through Holbrook Terrace, Miggs Place, Rom Street, and Sims Place. That alley is a highway for a lot of activity. We see a lot of different things occur in that alley. And I would like to hear what Lieutenant Otero can say about that request, because as of yesterday, the car is still placed on the corner of Montello and Rom. And I looked at the crime stats, I looked at the crime card, the public information that you all have readily available online, and the stats do not explain why you guys have a police station there on TikTok. It doesn't make sense to me. So other than that, we do have that beautification project that's in the works. We will have a commemoration event once that is completed. We'll be commemorating the mural as well as Mr. Salim's 10-year anniversary as a returning citizen. We're very proud of his work as a returning citizen, not only to come back into society, but help society, specifically a lot of the youth in the area. If you want more information on the boxing gym, feel free to hit me up. As well as what Commissioner Hosler mentioned, we are planning to at least discuss a grant today to support Trinidad Day, which is potentially set for August 17th, which is a Sunday, and which will also be next to Jabo's Compact Store, which is on Montello and Holbrook Terrace. Other than that, just stay very vigilant of a lot of actions occurring in Trinidad, specifically in Northern Trinidad, if you're in that area. We're trying to be a more stern with public use of cannabis. And I will say publicly, as a cannabis connoisseur myself, I personally don't drink alcohol like that. I consume cannabis. It's hard for me to give citations for public use of cannabis, which you should, because it is illegal to be consuming it in public. But at this point in time, due to the high amount of activity that we've seen this year, I think it's fair to request such a thing from the police, so we can not make it such a habit for people to be consuming in areas where it attracts negative activity. So that's been my request lately from the police department. That's the current community work that we're doing. Please be on the lookout for details for Trinidad Day. We will flyer the community once we get that situated, as well as the commemoration event for the mural. But I'm sure folks that pass through Mount Olivet Road will see the mural being, constructed in real time. Other than that, if you need to reach me, my email is right below on the screen of my name, and you can also reach me at 202-826-7807. If you're interested in becoming a block captain, feel free to reach to me directly so we can do a walk on your block. I am targeting areas in Trinidad, but I am open to other areas in the South Ward 5 district. If you're interested, and specifically you have neighbors that actually want to collaborate and work together, because keeping it real, it's getting harder out here. So anything that we can do to really connect and unite some of our forces and support each other, by all means, let's do it, because DC is going through it right now, whether it's, from actions happening at the White House or actions happening on your block. It's a time where we need to get active and engaged. So I'll pass the mic back to Commissioner Roblin, and go ahead and give your report. Hopefully your audio doesn't cut.
I hope I won't get cut off. Yeah. So I have a possible project that I'm planning along with a resident. If anyone's interested in joining us, please let me know. I used to be a substitute teacher in DCPS. And just by the way, in case anyone didn't know it, DCPS is one of the poorest performing public school systems in the country. The chronic absentee rate is about 40% or more, and the graduation rate is at 75%, and that's up from the past. And I believe the mayor's new budget is cutting even more money for DCPS, which is a really bad thing. Public schools are funded by the amount of taxes residents in the surrounding area pay, so schools in poorer areas get a lot less funding. Principal Amanda Schmidt of Wheatley told me that Wheatley, which is in my SMD, is 90% underperforming. So, I mean, I think DCPS needs a lot of support. And there's something called social emotional learning that helps children become like very caring oriented and stops kids from going in the wrong direction. And this resident and myself would like to go to principals of different Ward 5 schools and introduce them to more ways of getting the children social emotional learning. That would be done mostly through introducing them to different nonprofit groups who are working with children in a few schools, but could be working with children in a lot more schools. And these groups are really amazing. I could go into it, but if you want more information about it, let me know. Like Commissioner Saucedo Guzman said, we met with Commander Conboy of MPD. And I spoke to him about Florida and Montello, and I'm going to finally get set up a Zoom with residents and hopefully some of the people at Florida and Montello and MPD and CSOSA and Cure the Streets to have a Zoom regarding the area, hopefully in the next couple months. And it's been a long time in coming, but I've just been super busy, so I couldn't really get it together to get to it until now. And Mr. Young Kim, the director of the Trinidad's Farmers Market, asked me to tell everyone that on Sunday, September 14th, the Army and Navy Band will be playing at the market. It's like a major, it's a major band. And also he and other organizers are planning the next Trinidad History and Future Fest. They're not sure what the day will be yet. And we may do some flyering for the market just to make sure that there's enough attendance and purchasing to keep the vendors there, because many vendors can be leaving because the business is just not good enough for them. So, and if you're not familiar with the Trinidad Farmers Market, it's held every Sunday from 9 to 1 in the parking lot of Joe Cole Rec Center at 1299 Neal Street. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Commissioner. 5006.
Oh, Commissioner, you forgot Nate. You forgot Nate. Commissioner
Oh,
Hostler.
5004. No, he already spoke.
Oh, we did. Oh, I missed it.
I went
Yeah,
when you were
your audio cut off.
My visual cut off
And then
too.
I went, yeah, so 5006.
All right. Hey, everyone. So Char McCray, Trinidad Carver Langston. The area cuts across kind of Bladensburg over to 17th. Had a lot of different meetings in June with a lot of different residents due to a variety of different scenarios, from DOB related issues to public safety issues. So one of the major things I want to highlight, if you ever have any questions, you want to have a smaller meeting, you want to meet with an agency, just let me know. Email address is below, and I'll drop some additional information on how to reach me in the chat. One thing I want to point out is we had a cleanup on June 21st at the CVS parking lot, and this month for July, it'll be July 19th. We're going to meet at 1854 L Street. where will be the future position of the Carver Langston Park. So we'll meet out there just for a cleanup. So if you want to come, if you want to help, if you want to just grab a trash bag, feel free to stop by. We're going to start at 9 o'clock because I know it's going to be hot. And I also want to point out July 16th, so next Wednesday, I'll have the DDOT Community Engagement Specialist walk down 17th. There are some areas that they, hopefully they can address from putting up some pedestrian crossing signals to replacing some that need to be replaced, pointing out maybe even some trees that are restricting kind of the bike lanes and kind of the sidewalk as well. So we'll have a full walk with DDOT 4 o'clock. And location for starting is still TBD because if it rains, we will reschedule. But we'll be walking down 17th. Due to the changes, I thought it made sense to have some type of feedback session with DDOT so that you can provide your feedback and they can kind of see it in real time, specifically during rush hour, just to see some hopeful alterations that they can make to the changes that occurred. So more to come on that. Definitely sign up for the newsletter. There will be more information there. And just let me know if anything comes up. And one thing I would like to point out, just in terms of community and keeping kind of our spaces, I'm a firm believer, if we keep our space beautiful, it'll stay beautiful, right? So in front of your homes, that little strip in between the sidewalk and the sidewalk and the street, the part that's directly in front of your home is something that you are responsible to cut, take care of. So please be mindful of just kind of taking care of that strip of grass that is there. Things can grow too high and then that becomes kind of a problem, whether it is mosquitoes as we're in the summer, whether it is dead rats, it becomes a breeding ground for where they can hide. So just be mindful to cut that space or let me know if you don't have the resources to do so. I can try to find someone that can help you or assist you in that process. So feel free to reach out if that's the case. And that's all I have on my end.
Commissioner, did you mention a cleanup at the park on the 19th? Or no, I'm sorry,
Yes.
On 19th and L?
On 19th and L. So 19th and L, that'll be July 19th, the Saturday, July 19th. We'll meet at 1854 L Street Northeast. We'll have some CSOSA volunteers out there. And we'll try to hit the pavement until it gets too hot because it gets hot very quick.
At what time?
9 a.m.
9 a.m. Okay, perfect. Okay. And Commissioner G. Campbell, what's going on with you?
The only thing I'm doing is working with Commissioner McConnell to, clean up our block and things like that. But right now, I don't have anything besides that.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Did we get in? I know DOB gave us a notice about that property that collapsed, and they put a stop work order on that property until they can confirm what the exact damage is on the property.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
have you got any?
Yeah, their house collapsed and stuff like that. We had an accident the other day that a driver crashed into one of my constituent house off Benning Road. So we trying to work with that. I need to talk to Lieutenant Otero. I sent him a direct message, so I hope he can respond back.
Okay, perfect. That'll probably take a bit, but they are not permitting them to do any work at this time. And I know Commissioner McCollum, including myself and some other commissioners like Commissioner G. Campbell, we're just trying to not have them work at all, because if we can't trust them with that property, we can't really trust them moving forward with anything else. But with that being said, we have some reports or updates from the 5th District. We have Lieutenant Otero here today. Lieutenant, thank you so much for joining us. We haven't had a presence from MPD for a little bit, but we appreciate you being here tonight with us because we know y'all are really busy. July and the summer in general is a busy time for MPD in the district, so we appreciate the time you're giving us.
Thank you. I apologize. It's been truly busy for us. We've been monitoring 2 different radios, Prime Minister of Israel movement, and we just have a couple of priority assignments with Man Olivet, one of I think it's a mental health consumer, calling that she's gonna blow the whole building. Another one with non-shocked breaking into the fire extinguishers on 1060, I think it's a 4th Street. So it's been pretty busy so far, but sorry, I've been deployed with my CDU and with the military, so I kind of like back after a whole month. Lieutenant Captain Simic advised me about the meeting like 25 minutes before you guys started. And although I do have the stats, but I want to focus more on the concern that you guys have. I saw the message from Ms. Campbell, Commissioner Campbell. If you're concerned about how to file a police complaint for a vehicle officer operating a vehicle that is not registered, I can send you the link for the Office of Police Complaint. You can either come to the district and file a complaint. It's going to be up to you. Usually when you come to the district, it's a different process and take a little longer because we have to submit it. When you do it online, it goes straight to the Office of Police Complaint and they will take it directly from there and they initiated the investigations. Beside that, based on our stats, and again, this is based on what we have, all the crimes with the exception of motor vehicle theft, which means stealing vehicles, they're all the way down, except that one. Of course, we're trying to get as much resources that we have, even from other districts, and located them in the specific area where we're getting this vehicle stolen. But it's a little random because most of these vehicles are stolen because drivers left the vehicle unattended with the keys in the ignition or with the vehicle on. Most of these are delivery drivers. And it's unfortunate, but it doesn't matter how many times we said, please do not do this. They think it's not going to happen, not knowing that criminals are watching them all the time. And this is an issue that's been, it's been now, it happening throughout the city, but there's more specific zones where we can identify they are targeting people. We can put an officer here, we can have special attention, but of course, as soon as we leave the block, they just wait for the right opportunity and then just steal the car. And it's unfortunate. So we're doing what we can, even with the amount of resources that we have. So I really apologize because we don't have, it's really hard for us to get the resources for us to actually fight the crime that we wanted to. We do have dedicated officers that are out there, including myself, that we just go out, whether you guys may or may not see us, but we actually are out there, like even myself, sometimes I riding my mountain bike, check on the on Ivy City. This 4th of July and the last couple of days, I've been driving around the Saratoga, Trinidad, and engaging with a couple of the SPOs because they're having some issues there. So we're giving all the resources and knowledge that we have to help them to do their job and also to assist NPD so we can actually work together. Though we might be short of staffing, but they are like an extension of NPD, and that helps a lot. I know that if I go to the stats, it's may or may not answer your questions, but I want to take the questions from you guys and maybe I can be more specific instead of like being more generic about these stats or crime on specific spots. So please feel free to answer me. If I don't have the answer, I will definitely get the answers after the meeting and send it to you guys or to one of your commissioners so they can forward it to you.
Okay, if there's any questions for Lieutenant Otero, you can drop them in the Q&A. If you're one of our seniors, feel free to use the raise your hand function and let you speak. Commissioners, are there any questions for Lieutenant Otero? If not, I'll drop mine. Lieutenant, why do we still have a police car stationed at Montello and Rom?
Montello and where?
Rom?
Let me see. Hold on one second.
Because as I mentioned to the commander, it looks like you're providing private security for some homeowners there. And it's not equitable to the rest of the neighborhood where we've had children literally get killed in the alley behind Miggs. And an homicide happened literally 9 days after that up the same alley. And we've never, ever, ever gotten a police car station on Miggs. So my request to the commander last week was keep an eye on that alley. Clearly there's activity happening there. Since I've been a commissioner, 2 people have been killed there, and we've never gotten police presence. But somehow the block on Montello and Rom has a car station there. And 90% of the time, all the MPD does there is just go on their phone and look at social media. So you mentioned that you guys are short on staff, but it doesn't look like you guys are using the resources adequately or equitably.
Okay, so in reference about having a vehicle station specifically, is that in a specific time of the day? Because we
It's always there in
put
different
cars
times of the day.
stationed
It's a marked area for station.
Yeah, but my question is this is a specific date and times, or this is just 24/7?
No, the only time we have practically a 24/7 one is on all of it.
No, but my question is when you see this vehicle in Montello and Rom, stationary there, and the officer it's on the phone, is this is on a specific date or a specific time of the date? The reason why I'm asking is we have 3 different tours. We can actually narrow then who is the officer assigned to this specific area because we know that we're having issue with drugs in Montello and around Queen, Penn, Hillbrook, Might, all the ways in Virginia, West Virginia, 11th Street, all the way from Mount Olivet, south from all the way to, let's say, Neal Street. Those are like the biggest issues we're having with like drugs related issues. Some of them breaking into the cars, but breaking into the cars, it's taking place more on Oakey Street and Kendall, and I think it's Fernwell, name of the street. That's when we're actually getting really crushed with theft models. The other spot is Union Market, and we do have units in Union Market, but I know it was a concern raised by I think the chief of police and other citizens that they have seen officers sitting in the cars and on their phones. So I highly encourage them because we have our sergeants now going around checking on them. They are required to actually send an hourly report with the date, with the time that they check on those specific units for also ensure that there is accountability. Like on today's day, although I'm not on patrol, but I'm assigned to my civil disturbance unit, and we are in charge of providing security for the prime minister and all this stuff, but they're working today in the district. Now I have them from 4 different spots: Union Market, which is a hot spot, Saratoga, Trinidad, and Benning Road. And I have all my 4 sergeants checking on them hourly, 1. And 2, I'm also going out on the street and checking on them as well. Even if I have to ride the bike, as you can see, I have my bike uniform today. I love riding the bike. So that's how we keep the units accountable. The problem is not everybody's consistent. I mean, I wish I can say that maybe other lieutenants do the same thing or other sergeants do the same thing, but I can only speak for myself. That's why I want to ask specific questions like this is a specific date or specific time of the date, because I can narrow then who's supposed to be assigned on that specific area, and then we can address that with the officer. The other thing that you can do is every single cruiser have a cruiser number on the roof. It's big in the back and on the side. You can actually get the number of that cruiser. You can either request to speak with an official. If you call 911, ask the dispatcher that you want to speak with a supervisor. I highly encourage you, take a video, take a photo. Why? Because I understand there's some officers I'm sorry, I have to say, some officers are a little lazy and they have to get out of the car, but they don't want to get out of the car. So the only times that we can hold them accountable, because they can get out of the car when we are around and they know that. But as soon as we leave, if they go back to the car and they just been sitting there until the next hour when the sergeant just drive by, check on them, then we have to hold this officer accountable. It's like criminals. criminals know they can see our cruiser for like block or two away. As soon as you walk out of the block, guess what? They do their thing, and it happens to me with that homicide in Montello, and I think it was Mix. Same thing. I was there for 25 minutes. Nothing happened. Leave that area in the middle of the rain. Got to the station. 5 minutes later, got a homicide. Just literally a block away. And I think I spoke to you that day because you were there on the scene, Salcedo.
I was there when it happened, yes.
Yeah. So same way we're asking, just please help us out, because the only way that we can actually hold the officer accountable, it is when we're not there. You guys technically is our eyes. You guys are our eyes, and we can actually address that and then hold the officer accountable. Because I've received this complaints. Commander told me today. One of the captains told me last week when I got back from my military leave. Told me same issue. So I told Sergeant, I said, listen.
So let me reiterate, because just for the sake of time, because I know you're busy. My concern is not them leaving their vehicles. We're accustomed to that. We're accustomed to not leaving their vehicles. I'm not even addressing them wasting their time on their phones. They can do that if they got nothing else to do in the car.
They shouldn't.
My question is, why is that placement an assignment? Because every time I have approached the vehicle, the police are kind enough, the officers are kind enough to tell me, hey, I was just told to station here, and that's it. It's not on me. It's the folks above me. So my question again, because clearly Commander Convoy did not get the message last week when I went to the 5th District with Commissioner Roblin. Why is that placement still an assignment? When you yourself just referenced Montello and Miggs, when that 17-year-old boy was killed, we still didn't get a car on Miggs. We still didn't get a car on Miggs. When someone was killed a week later, we still didn't get a car on Miggs. So the optics looks like is you're providing private security to specific residents. When you referenced earlier different places like West Virginia, Neal, they're not getting any car placements or assignments of vehicles. We just had a community meeting. Commissioner McCray and Commissioner Rollins just had a community meeting the other day with folks on Neal. Have y'all gotten a car placement over there? I don't think so. So if they're paying y'all for that kind of service, let us know how we can pay y'all too, because it doesn't look equitable. The optics are terrible, Lieutenant Otero. So bring it up to your higher ups and be like, yo, the placement is poor, deployment ain't working, and you guys need to reevaluate that again. Because I was hoping to speak directly with Commander Rooney and Assistant Chief Kopp, but they weren't available, and I only got Convoy. And I haven't had a really good experience with him so far. So I'm just concerned because it seems like us as folks that advocate for the community and want to see a good relationship with the Metropolitan Police Department and community members, it's literally deteriorating when you guys aren't listening to what we're saying. That alley is clearly an issue, and it's not getting the attention it needs, because literally you have police officers having their back towards that space. They can't see behind. They don't got eyes behind their head. Last time I checked, MPD don't got it like that. So if you're not able to see a bird's eye view of the crime, of course you're going to let it slide by, and of course they're going to continue to let it happen. Just like you referenced earlier, I was in a place, I left the place, and the action occurred. Well, you are in the space that we need you to be in, but you're not having that direction where we need you to see. So that's what my concern is with that placement, that assignment that you have on that corner. That's all I'm trying to address.
Can you please define what is it that you want? What is, because you say you're in the place that you need to be, but you're not seeing the direction that you want me to see. What is it, the direction you want?
Rom Street is a one-way street, and your officers continuously place themselves on the corner of Montello and Rom. That is not that alley where that boy was killed,
so this
or
is the
that
thing.
other person was killed.
If they said that to you, they're lying. They're playing out lying. They are not. So this is how we designate the cruisers. When we assign a specific cruiser to any, like Saratoga neighborhood, Trinidad neighborhood, Union Market, they should never be stationary. We told them, say you have to be active patrolling. Your lights have to be in position too. And it's highly recommended that you start doing traffic stuff. Why? Because that's deter crime, like theft from autos, any robberies, possible shootings. If they see a cruiser that is actively engaging, doing traffic stop, doing contact or stops, that's what actually deter crimes. If they're stationary in that specific spot, they're wrong. If they're telling you that this school above me, no, it's not anything like that. They're lying to you. Next time they say something to you, get their names, you send me an email, and CC Captain Simic. Captain Simic is going out for a month because he got family matters. CC to, Commander Convoy or Captain Augustine. We are going to get that officer and we're going to hold them accountable because that what they're doing then is they're lying to you. They're not. And we talk about it in a meeting today. We told the officers, the sergeants, units are assigned at that specific hotspot. They are not to be stationary. They have to be actively patrolling. And I'm big about holding officers accountable. But these are the stuff that I need to know. But telling me, hey, an officer is, they're not moving, they're stationary here, but I need either a name, give me a cruiser number, give me a date and time, because I can narrow that to one specific officer, especially when they're driving a specific cruisers. That's even better. And then we're going to call that officer, and then we're going to get the BWC, or we can actually get the GPS for the vehicle or for the officer. And if that officer has been standing there for a while, we're going to hold that officer accountable. We're going to draw ICE numbers, we call incident summary numbers, and we go forward. But we need that information because it is hard. Right now, I have 28 officers and 4 sergeants, just me. It's not even counting the 25 officers on patrol, plus 11 overtimes, plus whatever we are doing with the Prime Minister and POTUS. And that is a lot. So it is hard for us to, I'm not saying babysitting, but it's hard for us to keep eyes on one specific officer when we have 28 something more to do at the same time. Like sitting right here, and I'm monitoring 2 different radio channels, answering my phones, not once, 2, and emails. Whoop, sorry about that.
So,
Well,
Lieutenant Otero, would you say something like this specifically? 2 police cars stationed there at that corner of Montello and Rom. Would you say that's acceptable then? That's 4
Definitely not.
officers, 2 in each car.
Nope.
This was only a few weeks
Told
ago.
not to stay
I had to
stationary.
record it because I was sick and tired of it. It's a waste of resources. It's
Nice.
not equitable when other areas in Trinidad, PSA 506, need this attention. But you
Yeah.
got them on a block when nothing but tumbleweeds is passing by. Not even the rats are looking at them.
Okay.
That's what
So
upsets
this is-
people like me.
and this is-
You all continuously say we don't have enough manpower. We don't have manpower, but you got enough to sit on the corner and be on your phones. That don't make no sense, Lieutenant. That don't make
Let
no
me
sense.
ask you. Let
And
me
I'm
ask you
sorry I'm
something.
getting heated about it, but it's just a continuous problem that we're seeing that shows us these resources are not equitable to everyone in the
Okay.
neighborhood.
So let me ask you something.
That's all.
When you saw this, what did you do?
I walked up to the officers and asked them, why are they stationed there? And they said,
Okay.
our bosses told us to be here, and that's it.
Okay.
I
Did
asked them who the watch commander is. They didn't know either. So I was like, maybe they're from a different district. Because
No.
to be honest with you, ever since Altieri left, no one knows who the watch commander is anymore. I guess you guys don't write it on your board no more. So it just shows me there's a deterioration at the 5th district. We're not talking about all the public stuff that's been in the news about y'all. But on the front end for us, we're not seeing good quality work, Lieutenant, and we're worried.
I mean, it's sad that they if this is the case, it's sad because every time they go to roll call, the sergeants tell them who got the watch. The watch is on the board, and every single time they come over the radio, they come to work. We come over the radio, and we are on top of them and on top of the sergeant, telling them do this, go ahead and respond there. We're responding to the scene as well. So if they're saying this, they're definitely lying to you, and that is what I need. What I need you to do is, if you see this, and be my guest right now, you can send me that video. If you have the name of the officers, even better. If I can see the cruiser's number and the date where that happened, with the time, I can narrow it down, and I will investigate further. Because they should not be in this art directive. It's not coming from me only. It's coming from Commander Rooney, Commander Convoy, and Assistant Chief Cobb. They are not to be stationary. They are to be active patrolling with the license position 2, and very likely some of them are directed to do traffic stop, like Benning Road. That
Well,
Benning Road there, that corridor is really busy for us. It's really bad. Do traffic stop, and we're asking for the stats.
Commissioner Saucedo Guzman, were you thinking that they would be better off stationary, just in a different place? Or do you think that they would be better not being stationary?
This is what I told the commander last week. If you're going to have them be stationary, at least put them in a place where they can see the actual criminal activity happening, not occurring behind their backs. But yes,
That-
they should be moving around different parts of the neighborhood because we can't have police everywhere. We have other parts in Trinidad, specifically also in Ivy City, such as Providence, that need this attention, and they're not getting it. So we can have this conversation offline because we're at a time check right now for time, and I know you're busy, Lieutenant. But these are just direct concerns that are coming from citizens that are just really upset with the quality of work that's been coming from the 5th District lately. We
So-
appreciate the presence that y'all gave us after the June 9th event where the homicide occurred on all of it. We appreciate the work since then, but it doesn't seem like some of this is tactical, that's all.
Okay.
It seems,
Let me
it
say
seems,
this. So it is not an option. It's from or a decision that any of you guys have to make. They've been told not to be stationary. Period. That's it. The reason why we cannot have stationary officer, it is because we have crime taking place in the entire Trinidad neighborhood. If we happen to stationary one specific spot, you're opening the door to everything else happen around you that you might not be able to see. And that is the reason why. The other one is if you see a police officer or a cruiser stationary one specific spot, it's not a special attention. We don't do that special attention. You just have cruiser sitting there. The only times we do that is when we believe there is a known or a credible threat to a specific person or group or neighborhood. That is the only time we actually directed the officer to stay there and not to leave. And when that happened, we even supposed to have the officer outside the cruiser and not on their phone. And these are stuff that really get me upset because I don't think that cell phone have to be that important for any officer other than doing their job, because that is taking the attention from what they're supposed to be doing to being on the phone doing something they should not be doing. And that can get them either killed, injured, or any of you guys to get injured. And that's what really get me upset because I mean, you're wearing this uniform. You're not here to serve yourself. If that's the case, then just go ahead and quit. Turn your badge in and move. We're not here to serve ourselves. We're here to serve the community.
Okay, well, I'll give Commissioner Rose the last comment so we can let this go and let you go, sir. I appreciate you sharing that, especially on a recorded video, so I can use it as proof later with some of your officers when I have to share it with them. Like, look,
Please do.
Lieutenant said it right here. I don't know what else I can do for you right now. But Commissioner Rose, last comment so we can let the lieutenant go.
Sure, thanks. Also, Lieutenant, I was told the exact same thing. There was an officer on Okie, and there was some car break-ins, maybe a couple months ago. That was before Arturi went out. I asked the officer what was going on, and he said he didn't know. He just was told to sit right there. So that's confirmation that we're being told this, but we need to have more meetings with MPD. If we have to do it at 5th District, just have some side meetings. We can do it at Union Market, wherever, but we have to have more meetings.
Okay. I mean, I fully agree with you. Just please, if you see anything like this, you approach the officer. You don't have to, but you approach the officer, ask their names, ask the reason why. If you believe that there's not a reasonable excuse for them to be sitting there for hours, especially on their phone, feel free to request to speak with the supervisor right away, right there. Call a supervisor, call the watch commander's phone, talk to the watch commander. We need to start holding the officers accountable, because if this is just incompetency or laziness, we're gonna take care of that. They're gonna have to change their mindset, because it's not working for anyone. It's not working for us. It's not working for you guys. It's making us look bad, and it's definitely affecting everyone, because now we're not creating that safety environment that you guys are expecting from us to have. And that is mind blowing for me. So at least I do what I have to do. I hold my officers accountable. And if they don't like it, it's not about the union. I can care less about what the union coming after me just because I'm doing my job and it happened in the past. But we need to take care of this issue so then they can get the message that, hey, listen, we're not playing around. You guys need to be out there doing your job. If you don't want to do your job, then guess what? There are consequences for your actions. We're not going to continue babysitting this behavior. It's not happening.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Lieutenant Otero, for joining us tonight and giving us some of that information. We weren't privy to some of this stuff, and we appreciate your directness with our questions and your responses.
Thank you. You have a good night.
You too. Be safe out there. Okay, back to the agenda. I apologize for the viewers. I got a little overwhelmed. Not overwhelmed, a little passionate there. We have our public safety report. We got that done. Trying to save on time, we have now our Executive Office of the Mayor. We have Christian Stargill here.
Yes, good afternoon. Well, good evening. Thank
Hi,
you all
madam.
for having me on the meeting tonight. Just a couple short announcements. So first, as you know, Commissioner Guzman, we spoke about issues with water affecting soil erosion that's flowing onto public spaces, specifically at this time at 1200 Penn Street Northeast, as well as other areas within the SMD. MOKers have communicated with the appropriate agencies to address this concern, and will continue to update Commissioner Guzman as well as the rest of the community surrounding this. Also, if there are any areas or spaces that you believe need to be inspected by DOB for resolution, you can fill out an inspection request form and inform me about the concern so I can escalate it to our core team member at DOB or other respective agencies as well. Commissioner Rose, as she stated before, she had flagged me about a couple concerns. One being the Capitol Avenue and the trash presence that's there. So we are working with DPW to get this cleaned immediately, and I'm thankful, Commissioner Rose, that you flagged that to me. And any other concerns like this can be forwarded directly to me as well. So just a couple upcoming events, well, DPR specific. DPR is hosting weekly veggie giveaways, and the next one coming up will be this Wednesday at Ladere Gardens from 11 to 12 p.m. And I'll drop the link for that. Also, Jazz in the Park is going to be really close to home and held in Langdon Park Recreation Center on July 10th at 6 o'clock p.m. And they are recommending that residents bring blankets and chairs to enjoy that live music in the park. And I'll drop the link for that. Lastly, late night hype will be held at Riggs LaSalle on July 11th from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. And this is where DPR and MPD bring together for our youth a carnival style event with food, music, games, dancing, and more. It's a free event. And we are asking that residents encourage our youth to come out to that. It'll be a perfect, safe venue for them to have a great time. So that's all I have right now for the sake of time, and I'm open to taking questions.
Perfect. Are there any questions from the commissioners for our MOKR? Check if there's any questions from the public.
Christian,
Go ahead, Commissioner
I have one
McRae.
question for you. There were some residents that were displaced on 16th Street. Do you know any updates or status updates from that? It would be 1,000 block of 16th Street.
1,000 block of 16th Street. Give me 1 second. I'll follow up on that. I believe Anthony is still corresponding with those displaced during that fire. And I can work with Anthony to provide you those updates.
He was also working with the Mayor's Office of Latinos Affairs.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you, Christian. Any other questions from the commissioners? A quick question, Christian. Do we have a date for, do we have a date yet for, oh God, why am I going blank? Chuck Brown Day?
What's that?
The Chuck Brown Day?
Okay, no, no set date or venue for that now, or nothing has been discussed publicly for that. But when it does, I'll definitely be sure to bring that to you all's attention.
Okay, only asking because it sometimes collides with our coordinations for Trinidad Day, so we don't want to like double dip on the same day. But if you get any information on that, that'll be helpful.
Perfect.
Okay, other than that, I think that's it for us with you tonight, and we appreciate you joining us, and we'll definitely hit you up if we have any other concerns or questions.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Of course, always. Okay, next up we have the Office of the Council Member, Zachary Parker. We have Andriana here tonight. How you doing, Ms. Lovelace?
I'm good. How are you?
Good to see you. what updates do you got for us?
My name's Andriana Lovelace. If any of you don't know, I'm the constituent service coordinator and I cover from A, C, and D. Today, the council held an additional budget work session at 9:30 this morning. Next week on Monday, they'll have their first vote on the budget. The second vote will be on July 28th. Residents can still continue to advocate for the budget requests throughout these two votes. DDOT is hosting community engagement meetings on the South Dakota Avenue Corridor Safety Project. You can join virtually tomorrow at 6 p.m. or in person at Sojourner Truth Public Charter School on this Saturday at 10 a.m. We have a tentative date for a Trinidad neighborhood blitz from different agencies, CSOSA, DPW, to tend to the needs of the community. Our tentative dates are July 28th and 29th. We want to support both North and South Trinidad. So those are tentative dates. You'll hear more information about it probably next week. Save the date. Ward 5 Day is Saturday, September 20th at Turkey Thicket. And we have so many exciting things happening. So we want to see you guys there. The Mayor's Office of Racial Equity is hosting a virtual conversation on July 15th. From 6 to 7:30, it is an opportunity for members of the community to share their voice and engage with others. And lastly, like Christian said, DPR is hosting Late Night Hype on July 18th from 7 to 11 p.m. at Trinidad Rec. It is a nighttime carnival style event featuring an open pool, music, food. It's also a time for MPD to do some community engagement. If you have any questions, you can ask them.
Any questions from the commissioners? You guys might see in the Q&A?
Yes. Really quickly, so those community blitzes, it'll cover all of Trinidad, right? It'll also like hit the alleyways and everything, just based on conversations we've had.
Yes, that's why there's two dates, because we know there's two different sides to Trinidad, so we want to hit both of them.
All right, and what days of the week are the 28th and the 29th?
They're a Monday and a Tuesday. And again, those are tentative. This is still sort of trying to make sure all these agencies can show up and be present. So the dates may or may not change, but those are the 2 days we're aiming for. Just because we don't want it to go into August. Because we knew we said we would do it in July and we don't want to prolong it.
Okay, and it'll be kind of during the after hours time, right? Like 3 to 7 maybe, when folks are really out and about.
That is our hope, yes.
Okay, all right, cool. I just wanted to make sure.
Okay, quick question. These are specific questions, Andriana, so I don't know if you can answer them, but hopefully you can get back to these residents if necessary. One is, when will the members of the committee vote to affirm the budget allocation for ranked choice voting? Do you know if that's coming up in these dates?
I am not sure, but I can write that down and get back to you.
Okay. If you want to share your email before you go tonight so Alden Dollins can get back to you, that'd be great.
Put in the chat and also my phone number.
Yes. And then Ms. Andrea Lee has a question. What can residents expect for a blitz?
So from my understanding, we had a meeting today. Just different agencies coming out and trying to, I guess, beautify the neighborhood or tend to the neighborhood. So I know I'm on Olive Road. There's a lot of drug activity and things of that sort. Helping with that, picking up trash cleaning. CSOSA will most likely be there. MPD will most likely be there. So just using those different agencies to try to help smooth out the neighborhood. I mean, of course, it can't solve the overlying issue, but it can be a start.
Yeah, I know the Constituent Services Director, Mr. Oliver Stout, reached out to me regarding this, and he did mention that he was getting Department of Public Works engaged, as well as some of the health agencies to target some of the problems regarding addiction and drug use in that area specifically. And I know he's also coordinating with our violence interrupters to engage and build bridges with some of the residents there. So once you do confirm that that date, hopefully we can get a good invitation to the community so they can join and be engaged in that walk as well.
Yes. And DDOT will also be there to help with some of the traffic lighting that we talked about in a couple of the meetings.
Perfect. Perfect. Commissioner Holzler?
Yes, thank you. This might be something I should talk about on the side, but I'll just flag it here and we can put it off if we need to. I was contacted by a constituent about a abandoned vehicle that they put a 311 request in a route several times on Montello, and I contacted the liaison, which in the office I thought was the appropriate one. Should I loop anyone from the council member's office in, or is there a different process for getting that addressed? I wasn't getting responses when I followed up. As others know, that I'm relatively new to the position, so I'm kind of still figuring out the processes, but also it was noted that sometimes the liaisons might not be entirely responsive.
Yes, you can send it to me and I can help escalate it.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Perfect. Okay, well, those are the questions we have for you, Ms. Lovelace. If there's anything else you want to share, feel free to drop it in the chat for folks to receive. And again, we appreciate you for coming out to tonight's meeting.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Okay, for the souls that are still here, thank you. We are 10 minutes behind schedule, but again, trying to get out here early. I think we can still make that time. We have some presentations tonight. Do we have anyone here from the DC Department of Healthcare Finance? If we do, feel free to use the raise your hand function so we can elevate you as panelists. As well, just asking folks if Ms. Aisha Saeed is here to discuss the Rodent Academy, as well as I know Christine Dupree is here. So Andy, if you can elevate them to panelists so we can have them ready to present.
Good evening, everybody. This is Kiana Creighton. I'm Deputy Mayor's Chief of Staff. I'm just waiting for him to be promoted as well, but I have the slides loaded whenever he's ready.
Hi, Kiana. I don't
perfect.
see his name here in the attendees.
I will ping him.
Okay.
Shortly. Thank you.
Thanks.
Let's see. While we wait, Christine, are you available to present?
Yes, I can.
Okay, we can use that time wisely then if you're ready. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Okay, thank you. Thank you to the ANCs of 5D for allowing me to participate and present. My name is Christine Dupree, and I'm the Partner and Development Director with the Edgewood Brookland Family Support Collaborative. And tonight I did want to present on our Family Success Center. I actually, if it's okay to share, I did want to just share my screen. Yep. Okay, perfect.
Yep, go ahead.
Okay. All right. Great. Can everyone see this?
Yes, ma'am.
Wonderful. So we operate a Family Success Center, which is located in the Langston community. We're in building 667 on 24th Street, which is the basement level. That space is also known as the resident council space. We did in the summer of 2025 have a conversation with the then resident council president around occupying that space and sharing it to operate a Family Success Center. So that is where we are located in Langston. We are one of 11 Family Success Centers across wards. There are success centers in Ward 7, Ward 8, Ward 4, and Ward 5, which is our success center. So our funder is Child and Family Services Agency, and the on-site services that we offer at the Success Center include a computer lab. We have a computer station, 4 computer stations there on site for any residents who would like to come and take advantage of the computer lab. We've had some residents who have come in who've needed help with applying for jobs online, uploading documents, revising their resume. And so residents are free to come in and use our computer lab. We also have a diaper bank on site. So residents can come and they can see us to receive diapers. It's 50 diapers per month per child. We also have a weekly community meal program, and that is offered in partnership with DC Central Kitchen. So on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 2 o'clock, we offer free meals, again, that are provided through DC Central Kitchen. We also have what's called service navigation. So service navigation is where any resident can come and visit with our team members and talk a little bit about what it is they're looking for support with. So for example, we've had some residents who live in Langston who have come to see us who have needed help with navigating DCHA. They may have been found eligible for a Section 8 voucher, but they needed help on really navigating the steps that go along with that. And so we've been able to offer some navigation support around that. Other examples of service navigation may be that a resident is looking for a GED program, or perhaps they're looking for a workforce development program. So again, we really try to ensure that the resident is connected with the right service provider, the right program, and that that service connection is successful. We don't consider the service to be complete until we know from working with the resident that they were successfully linked to the program and the service that they were seeking support for. Our primary target communities, and I should have mentioned this in the beginning, is Langston, as well as Carver and Kingman Park. However, I will say that we do not turn away any DC resident. So whether they live in a different part of Ward 5, or perhaps they live in Ward 7, Ward 6, we will not turn anyone away. But for the purpose of our target population, it is Carver, Langston, and Kingman Park. But again, any DC resident, any Ward 5 resident is able to come and visit our center and take advantage of the services and supports that we offer. Our walk-in hours are Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. And there is no appointment that is required, so don't need to call in advance unless anyone would like to do that. But it is fully walk-in, no appointment needed, no appointment necessary. For the summer, we've instituted some fun activities that we really hope residents will enjoy and engage in. As of last Monday, we instituted Senior Bingo. And so we offer that every Monday in the Success Center. We start at 3 o'clock and we usually end around 4:30, close to 4:45. And then on Wednesday and Friday mornings, and this was just instituted last Wednesday morning, but every Wednesday and Friday throughout the summer, we'll be having yoga class, and it's offered through a certified yoga instructor. So she will be on site every Wednesday and Friday morning, starting at 9:30 in the morning. The sessions usually last about an hour. We supply all of the materials. So we have yoga mats on site. We have water. We make sure everyone stays hydrated. And we also have some towels for anyone who may need them if, just need to wipe the sweat or what have you. We are also going to be doing, in partnership with C3 Cares, which is another provider that's located in Langston, we will be doing HIV testing. In fact, that begins tomorrow. So tomorrow at the center, beginning at 2 o'clock, C3 Cares will be on site for anyone who may want to come in and have an HIV test. The results are rendered that day. And for anyone who may need to have ongoing care after that test result, C3 Cares is there on site to help facilitate that and walk that person and consult with them around next steps. We hope to have that be something that we do on an ongoing schedule with C3 Cares, but tomorrow is the first day that we will be launching that. And then lastly, we are going to be throughout the summer months, likely on Wednesday afternoons, we will be having just some pop-up ice cream socials, popsicles. We know it's warm outside, obviously. And so usually in the afternoon hours is when we see more foot traffic with some of the young kids on the property coming home from camp. So beginning next week, we'll be doing some ice cream socials, popsicle giveaways right outside of our building at 667 24th Street. With that being said, I think I can pause there and just ask if anyone has any questions. Oh, and I also just want to say too, we do partner with Carver as well, because again, the target area is Langston and Carver. We have been in the Carver community. We've been over at the Patsy Hartfield Center, partnering with WIN companies. We actually did a Cinco de Mayo event in Carver. We brought a food truck to the community, and that was a great way for us to engage with residents. We met a lot of residents that day. I think we had over 100 residents come to the meal truck on Cinco de Mayo. And we'll also be looking to do some other partnering events in Carver with our partner at the Patsy Hartfield Center. All right, so I can stop there if there's any questions that I can answer.
Thanks, Christine. Is there anyone that have any questions about this amazing system that they have going on over there? First, we want to ask any of the commissioners, do you all have any questions? Or do we have any questions from the audience? Well, everyone is happy, Christine. Please, you said everyone in a district is invited. So if you have some community members that could that is in need of these resources, please refer them to the
Yes.
service. Yes,
please do. And I'll put in the chat our Instagram channel. We do post on Instagram. So some of our flyers for activities that I've just mentioned have already started. We've already started posting them on Instagram. But if you want to follow us and learn more about some of our programs and what we do, yes, I will post that in the chat. And also, if any of the commissioners would like us to come out to your community, if you want us to station an information table. It was great when we came out to the resource fair at Starburst Plaza, because that was when I was able to meet some of the commissioners who are here online. But we would also love to come out to your community if you'd like us to come out, station a table, and just spread awareness about our program.
Yeah, I'll take you up on that over here in Ivy City.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Let's see. We do have someone in the audience. They said they will be able to be a volunteer. Oh, improve their computer skills. Norma Rivera. So can you put your information in the chat so that they can get in contact with you if they want to help?
Absolutely. Yep, I'll put that in there.
Okay, great. Andy, are you okay? We have Sienna and Deputy Mayor Turnagee.
One second, Commissioner Rhodes. I'm sorry. I'm feeling a little sick, and Commissioner Rhodes is moderating for me a little bit.
Yes.
I came back to the computer. There's two questions in the Q&A, Ms. Dupree. Just regarding volunteers, like Commissioner Rhodes mentioned, can residents volunteer at the center?
Yep. Thank you. Sorry, I was having trouble coming off mute. I would say yes, if they can. I'm going to put my contact information in And they can contact me directly so we can have more conversation around what their interests are and what they envision they'd like to volunteer to do.
And I think you mentioned family during your presentation. How do you define that?
How do we define family?
Yes.
Household members. So if you are a head of household and you have members in your household that you say are your family, it's your household. So who you define as your household.
If for example, I'm a single individual. I don't have any children, but I have a dog. But I do have 2 roommates, and we consider ourselves like a household unit, a family. Would you consider that a family, or is it mainly a parent-child situation or a grandparent-child situation that you're looking at?
Oh, yeah, no, all of the above. So every example that you just mentioned.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and definitely feel free to share your information in the chat so we can reach out to you directly. These services and events look really great.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you so much.
Okay. Commissioner Rhodes, can you continue from here? I'll be right back, but I believe we were having issues. Oh, wait, there he is. Okay, perfect. But I'll let you moderate from here. I'll be right back.
All righty. All right. Thank you. You all can start. And Andy, I believe they want to do a PowerPoint, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, they should be able to go ahead and share their slides, whoever is sharing, and just let me know if there's anyone else who needs to be added as a panelist.
Sienna, are we all good now?
Kiana, can you hear us?
Oh, is it Kiana? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
Maybe that's why they're not answering, because I'm not saying it right. Are we good?
I'm here, but I guess Kiana's supposed to bring the slides up, but I don't see her.
I think she needed to drop to get. Oh, she's on. She's probably getting situated.
Okay.
But Mr. Turnage, if you want to introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, and how the community can connect with you as we get situated on your PowerPoint.
My name is Wayne Turnage. I am the Deputy Mayor for Health and Human Services, and I also serve as Director of the Department of Healthcare Finance, which is responsible for running the Medicaid and the Alliance programs. And I can be easiest reached through my email, which is wayne.turnage@dc.gov, or my cell phone, which is 202-821-9673.
Hi, all. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Sorry about that. It's not letting me share my screen. So I'm trying to switch my settings, but it's not letting me promote the slides.
Can you put the slides in the chat?
It's just saying that with the Zoom, it's not letting me actually use, even though my settings have given permission. So I don't know if there's anything else that the ANC can do to promote me to allow for me to show my whole screen.
I'm taking a look and it should be working. So I'm going to change this. I'm going to turn it off and back on. So now it should definitely not be working. And then let's see, host and panelists. Okay. Let's see if that works for you.
Kiana said she got kicked out. She's trying to rejoin. I can start.
Okay, that'll be
I'll be as visual as I can be without the slides. The as you all have probably heard, the revenue picture for the district for the fiscal 26 budget year was significantly strained, primarily because of the loss of federal employment. I think 40,000 DC residents lost their jobs. There was reduced income and consumer spending. And the commercial office market in DC is still struggling. Based on those factors, the city's independent financial officer reduced our projected revenues for the fiscal 26 program year or fiscal year by $1 billion for the financial plan. So that means for fiscal year 26, 27, and 28, the total reductions in the expected revenue for the city declined by $1 billion, a little over $350 million each year. At the same time, if you look at the Medicaid budget, going into fiscal year 26, to do the same things that were done in 25, it would have created a growth rate of about 15%. So while city revenues were declining by 1% from going from fiscal year 25 to 26, the Medicaid budget was growing by 15%. That created a mismatch and a need for a reduction strategy to balance the budget. One of the things that we do when we are trying to figure out how to save money on the Medicaid side is we look at three factors. Eligibility, the number of people who are eligible for the program, benefits, the nature and scope of the benefits, and provider rates, the amount of money we pay providers to deliver the care for those who are eligible. At the end of the day, when we submitted reduction plans to the mayor, it was sort of an iterative process. We came up with $332 million in local fund reductions. The mayor did not accept all of those reductions. Instead, she authorized $142 million in investments, which created a net reduction or savings of $191 million. Now, so how do we reduce Medicaid? We had three goals. One is we wanted to focus on populations that are considered optional under federal law. The way Medicaid is structured federally, if you agree to participate in the program at the state level, there are population groups that are considered mandatory. That means if you have a program, you have to allow them in. And there are others that are considered optional. You don't have to allow them in. We also wanted to focus on beneficiaries at the higher end of the eligibility threshold, the income range. The district is the only jurisdiction in the country that provides coverage for persons on Medicaid who earn more than 134% of federal poverty. We're the only state in the country that does that. So focusing on those issues, we decided to do two things. One is we want to we propose that if you were a parent or caregiver with an income above 134% of federal poverty, then you would no longer be eligible for Medicaid. Likewise, if you were a childless adult with income above 134% of federal poverty. You also would be no longer eligible for Medicaid. That saved the city about $42 million, which converts to about $120 million total funds, local and federal. So then the question is, where would those residents get coverage? And so we worked with another agency to use federal dollars to fund what they call a basic health plan. And there's also, as we know in the district, the healthcare exchange, insurance exchange. So the total number of beneficiaries who were impacted by those decisions was a little over 25,575 beneficiaries. Some of those beneficiaries would be able to get insurance with this new program called the Basic Health Plan, and some would have to go through the insurance exchange to get their coverage. We estimated that when you looked at that 25,575 beneficiaries, they were about 9% of all persons in the Medicaid program. And of that group, of that 9%, 90% would be eligible for coverage through the basic health plan. The other 10% would probably hopefully go through the get a qualified health plan on the exchange. The key thing to note about the basic health plan is that it looks virtually like Medicaid. You are eligible for it if you have an income from 133% to 200% of federal poverty. You have to be lawfully present. That means you cannot be a undocumented immigrant, and unless you are a citizen waiting for a 5-year bar experience, a 5-year time period to elapse for those who had just received citizenship status. You have to wait 5 years if you were an immigrant. You cannot be on Medicaid or the Children's Health Insurance Program. So those are the things that make you eligible. The benefits that you receive will look almost exactly like the benefits of the Medicaid program. There are some differences. We have worked with the benefits exchange over the last couple of weeks, and we've determined initially that there will be no premium cost or cost sharing for those in the basic health plan. And we have to make sure that the cost of that program does not exceed 95% of what we would have paid for this population if they were on the exchange. For the remaining 10%, they can go to the exchange. They can't be eligible for Medicaid or the Children's Health Insurance Program. They must be lawfully present. But they can also be subject to the 5-year bar that I mentioned. They will get to choose from a series of health plans that have a minimum of 10 essential benefits. And there are premiums and cost sharing, but they get premium assistance to reduce the cost of the insurance. So at the end of the day, because of the challenging nature of the city's finances, and combined with the unsustainable cost growth in both the Medicaid and the Alliance program that I mentioned, we had to take budget actions that really don't have a historical precedent in the district. But we did so in a very thoughtful, deliberative manner, and we crafted the strategies in a way to minimize the loss of access to health care. Now, so if the council passes the mayor's budget, and they have a first reading on next Monday, and then they have a second reading on the 28th, we will have a lot of work to do at DHCF and working with the DC Exchange to make sure that we can transition those who lose Medicaid coverage to these other programs in as a seamless manner as possible. So that is the essence of what we've done on the Medicaid side. There were some other small changes, but these were the most significant. So I am certainly here to take any questions that you all might have.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Do we have any questions from the commissioners? If you do, you can raise your hand. Commissioner Roblin, are you speaking? Oh, okay. Do we have any questions from the audience? Okay. Well, Deputy Mayor, you did a good job in explaining the Medicaid situation. And we do have the slides if we have to repeat what you just said, because we do
Sure.
have a lot of folks that are on Medicaid in our communities. But you did say that the other program that they'll be directed to sort of mirrors the Medicaid program.
That's correct.
They will have all the services. It'll just be another program.
Yes, we are working with the exchange to make sure that persons don't even have to enroll. We can automatically make them eligible for those who are eligible. And again, we think it'll be close to 25,000 or so that will be eligible.
I'm just wondering real quick, if there wasn't enough money for folks to be on Medicaid, how is this this other resource being funded? Is it being funded through the district or through private?
The basic health plan is all federal.
Mm-hmm.
The district, it doesn't cost the district anything. It's funded with all federal dollars. And so the district will have to put up no money for the basic health plan. The other, the insurance programs that are on the exchange are private insurance programs that are funded through a premium tax credit for persons of low income, with some combination of a premium tax credit and a small premium cost to the residents. But the basic health plan is fully funded by the federal government. So that saves, combined, those two programs save the district about $42 million. And if you look at the federal dollars that we don't spend on that, is over 120 million. So there is a significant cost savings.
And the cost for the insurance is, it won't be a burden on low or very low income.
The basic health plan, which are the members that have the lowest income, they shouldn't have any premium cost or any cost sharing. We're trying to design the program in a way that it will mimic their experience in the Medicaid program. If you go to the health insurance exchange, you will face some premium costs, but it's capped at a certain percentage of your family income, and you get premium assistance from the federal government. And there are some cost sharing requirements that health insurance, you get to choose from 3 or 4 health insurance plans, and they have some cost sharing requirements, but then those are limited in the amount that they can charge as well.
Is this information in your PowerPoint?
I can send a more, if you all send me an email, I will send you the presentation that I made to the Committee on Health, and it has all of this information and data in it.
Okay, we have a question from Andy, and then we have one from Skip Keats.
Sure.
Yeah, Mike, I was just going to read Skip's question.
Okay, cool. Go ahead.
Sounds great. So a community member, Skip, asks, for those not familiar with the poverty line, what is the income that cuts off?
It depends on your family size. For a family of one, I think 100% of federal poverty is right around 15,000. Then it goes up for each member of your family. So 134% of federal poverty is roughly about, it's over, let me see, I can pull it up. I'll give you the precise numbers. Hold on a minute. So if you look at the federal poverty scale for 2025, the for a single individual in 48 states in DC, you can make up to $15,650 to be at the federal poverty level. For a family of four, that goes up to 32,150. So if you looked at the income levels allowed given family size, you will see an increase. I have there's a poverty guideline table that show you that so roughly at about 130% of poverty, 133% of poverty for a family of one, it's about $20,814. If you go up to a family of four, for example, you're talking about $42,759. So family of three, $35,444, and a family of two, $28,129. If you make at or below those income levels, you will stay on Medicaid. If you make above that, you will be transitioned to either the basic health plan, if your income is between 133% and 200% of poverty. And if you're over 200% of poverty, then we will encourage you to seek health insurance on the health exchange. So if you, as a family of one, if you make more than $31,300, you're going to have to look at the exchange. Family of two, if you make more than $42,300, you have to look at the exchange. Family of three, $53,300. Family of four, $64,300. If you make at those income levels for that family size, then you will have to go to the exchange, the DC Health Exchange, to secure your health insurance. If you are below those levels, if you're below the levels at 133%, then you can get the basic health plan. You stay on Medicaid.
Thank you. Another question from a resident is, will there be a copay for residents?
For the basic health plan, there is no plans to have a copay. Medicaid, under the bill that was just passed by the Congress, they are requiring copays for $35 per service, but it is up to $35 per service. So we being DHCF, we can set a very nominal copay. We can require, we might make the federal government a little angry, but we can say $1 per service. We don't believe in large copays because we think, particularly for people with low incomes, it discourages them from using the healthcare system, and they will stay home until they're sick, really sick, and then their illness is much more difficult to treat. So we try not to create barriers that will discourage people from utilizing the healthcare system. So we will probably have, in response to the law that was just passed, very, very nominal cost sharing amounts. We have to do something because the law says we have to do up to $35, but we'll pick somewhere between $1 and $35 to set the copay.
Thank you. And final question from the chat. When is the Medicaid work requirement supposed to take effect in DC? So speaking of the new legislation.
Yeah, it's supposed to take, I'm gonna pull it up right now. I think it takes effect in January of next year, but I can tell you precisely because I just sent a document to the city administrator that laid out all of the deadlines for a number of different policies that are in place. And as I pull up, I want to give you the right information. The effective date is December 31st, 2026. So we will have, states have the option of doing it earlier. It's going to be very difficult to set this up administratively. So we have between now and 2026 of next year, of December of next year, to get it done. If we get the program set up earlier, then we will start it early. But our goal is to have a very competent Medicaid work requirement unit so that people can easily document the fact that they are meeting the requirements for work and therefore will not lose coverage. that is our challenge and our goal.
Thank you. So what we'll do is try to get this information in our newsletter and have it sent out on our social media accounts so that people will be prepared
Yeah.
when it does happen, if it does happen.
And if there are any questions, you can reach out to me or Kiana. You have my email address. Shoot me an email if there's specific data that you want. Just let me know, and we will turn it around as soon as possible.
So can we add your contact information or the office's contact information on the newsletter?
Yes, you can put my email address, wayne.turnage@dc.gov. Kiana will provide it for you.
Thank you so much.
All right.
We appreciate your coming out, staying up late, and giving us the information. And we'll be getting back with you. Hopefully, maybe sometime next year you can update us
I'm
on
more
what.
than happy to do it. Whenever you need, just let me know.
Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right.
Do we
Bye.
have Department of Health, the Rodent Academy here, Andy?
I don't see Aisha Saeed, which is the name that's on the agenda. If somebody else is from the Rodent Academy, please raise your hand.
Okay, I guess no. Okay, thanks, Andy.
I don't think they're here, Commissioner.
That's fine. We'll see them later.
We'll circle back and see if they can come at another time. Okay, thank you, Commissioner Rhodes, for assisting. And I apologize for cutting you off earlier. I just want to make sure we got those questions because some folks say we don't give people time. The last thing on our agenda tonight, for those still on the meeting, is our consent calendar items before we open for community feedback and questions. If you look at our consent calendar items that we placed on the agenda and approved for tonight's meeting, are timesheets for our administrative personnel, timesheets for our social media manager, and as well as a grant proposal for the Trinidad community event that we're looking to hold on August 17th, as we mentioned in earlier tonight's meeting. And then 2 items that we looked into costs for direct expenditures, which be the purchase of an ANC tent for any events that we have in the future, and also the repurchase of yard signs as we've purchased in the past. We want to make another purchase. I'll open this for discussion before we move to a motion for a vote, since we have some costly expenditures here being proposed. Commissioner McCray, can you confirm the cost for the timesheets before we go to the grants and the other proposals?
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm trying to pull it up now.
Thank you. I'm dog sitting and the boys are acting out, so let me just situate them real quick.
All right. So for the June admin cost, it's $270.
Okay.
And our June social media project manager costs are $641.25.
You said social media is 600?
$641.25.
How many hours is that?
23.75.
Okay. Are there any comments or questions on the timesheets before we go on to the larger expenditures?
What was that one for again? I'm sorry.
Social media?
So for
Yep.
social media, for the social media project manager, it is $641.25. And for the admin cost, $270.
Okay, is this for our social media person?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, do we have a Excel sheet of, or were you given an Excel sheet?
Yeah, it's on the it's right on the agenda. If you look at the link, that's what
Okay.
Commissioner McRae's reviewing.
Okay. No,
There are some missing pieces,
Mhm.
just time-wise on it, just for consistency's sake. Maybe we should have an update to it, but there are, I don't know if my rows just look off on my computer.
No, I do see some inconsistency here with their timesheet. I will request that we move this item off the consent calendar. And I would like Commissioner Rhodes is overseeing our social media person. Commissioner Rhodes, can you go over this timesheet with them to clarify the hours added?
I sure can.
Perfect.
And maybe what we can do is, just so that for the sake of the vote, so that we could still write the check since we're on pause in August. I just want to make sure we vote that at least the check does not exceed the 750 in the work statement, just so that it can still be written and given, even if we don't have the updated timesheet, just based on the initial work statement. So that it can be updated on the back end, unless y'all want to wait until September for this June payment. That's the only other time I could see this occurring, unless we just move it to a different item. I don't know if y'all have thoughts on that.
If you review the timesheet, there's too many blank spaces there. So I think it's fair, since we know this, since we know our admin team should have these timesheets provided in a timely fashion. I think it's fair that we just hold on payment for right now and we discuss it with them, so we can make sure we move it adequately. And it'll have to be a September payment. But I think I will make a motion that we move this off the consent calendar and approve an expenditure that exceeds 750 if the total amount exceeds that by the time that they also committed other work, by the time they need that check. Does that sound fair, everyone?
Yeah, I second.
Say that one more time.
So I'll make the first motion and then I'll make a second. So my first motion is I move that we move this item off the consent calendar, which is the social media project manager timesheet. Can I get a second?
I second that.
Okay, second by Commissioner McRae for this this last minute amendment. I'll go with the roll call to get the proper vote for the meeting minutes. 5D02.
Yes.
5D03.
Yes.
5D04.
I would like clarity on moving it off the consent agenda. I feel like waiting until September to pay someone seems a bit problematic. So if we move it off the consent agenda, we're not paying them till September.
I actually agree with that.
We can. So, commissioners, just to be aware, if you want to hold discussion, we have to do that prior to voting. So don't wait till it's your turn to vote to say I want to talk. Feel free to open that up as soon as we start a vote. So we'll open a 3-minute discussion.
You moved quite
so we can
quickly,
talk about
so there wasn't really space to ask that question.
Yeah, it's entirely fine. It's entirely fine. So we'll open a 3-minute discussion. I just want to be clear with how that works. We'll open a 3-minute discussion and then we'll go back to the vote since there's a motion on the floor. So the motion was placed by me to move this off the consent calendar It was seconded by Commissioner McCray, and here's 3 minutes for us to discuss. I understand it's probably too late or takes too long, there's a delay to pay this person all the way until September, but I don't think it's appropriate to pay someone with so many blanks on the timesheet. And optics-wise, it looks like it's a fluff timesheet right now, and I don't want it to be perceived as that by the public since it's government funding. So that's my take on the situation, but feel free to open up the discussion.
And those gaps are because of a failure on their side to record properly.
Correct. Can you share screen it, Commissioner McCray?
Yeah, let me see if I can share really quickly. There's just some gaps in it. I agree with moving it off the consent calendar, but I would still like to pay them before.
Or we could do this. We could remove the time that's missing with detailed information and pay them for what is provided.
That's what I was thinking would be really good.
So there are a few gaps on here in terms of time, date, and I don't know if this is just how I'm looking at it right now, but let me look at a few other, because I did have folks send me stuff for the QFR, so give me one other second to see if both of what they submitted look like this. But you all can see it right now. There's just some gaps in here. So that's really the question, the gaps itself.
It's just not some gaps, it's 12 gaps. So I don't feel comfortable approving such, I don't feel comfortable approving this with such little information being provided. So it's 12 gaps here. So we can't vote on that. Oh, I mean, I don't feel comfortable paying for that if it's not telling us what they did.
Yeah, can we just pay for the part that is saying what was done, what they did?
Sure, we can make copy and remove the lines that are missing. Bear with me. Okay, with the by removing the information that by removing the rows that did have no information on what occurred and when did it occur, the total hours comes down to 10.75, and that comes to a total of $290. That I feel comfortable approving tonight.
I agree. I think that's great.
I would concur. Thanks.
Okay, so the motion on the floor was to remove this from the consent calendar as a consent calendar item. It was seconded by Commissioner McCray. We'll go ahead and hold the vote, and we'll go ahead and hold it as a voting action item. 5D02,
Yes.
5D03,
Yes.
5D04,
Yes.
5D05, is me, yes, 5D06,
Yes.
and 5D09.
Yes.
Okay, that'll be a voting action item. Discussion still open for the grant proposals and the purchase proposals. If you look on the link on the agenda, we have a grant that was submitted to the OANC directed towards us by community members in Trinidad that are interested in doing a resource fair that the local neighbors are also interested in collaborating to host Trinidad with, a Trinidad Day for. The grant request is $4,700. If you open the proposal, it includes the grant application form that's been reviewed by the OANC already, and they did confirm which parts of the grant were permissible and which weren't. So after that review, these folks submitted this grant proposal to us and confirmed the total amount that's being requested. The projected total cost for the event itself is $5,700, but the amount that they're requesting is $4,700. And majority of the cost that is being requested to be covered by the ANC is, let me confirm, I'm looking at it right here. Where are we at? See, I have it over here. The rental of speaker system, the cost for musicians, which is a string quartet and their additional act, as well as a DJ, a basketball hoop rental, a full day rental. They're getting science kits and advertisement for the event, which would cost $75 plus the cost for their stage. And for the public, we got new guidelines regarding how we can spend money on these kind of events, but we're still restricted to not purchasing meals for people, which is still something that we can't directly make an expenditure for. So the details are in the grant, and we can discuss further, but I just wanted to provide those details to the commission before we propose a vote on the consent calendar items. Any questions or comments by the commissioners for that one?
That this is what I referenced earlier in my report.
Yes. Thank you, Commissioner Hausler. You did mention this in your ANC report that this is an event that we're looking to do. This and also to share to the public, this was actually in response to some of the violence that occurred in the last couple of months here in Trinidad. So we're looking to mitigate that with direct resources from agencies and offices, as well as just directly unite the community in efforts to stop some of this violence, but just making ourselves aware that we're all in the same space and we all want to see better days for the neighborhood. So I'm happy that the OANC, Office of Advisory Neighborhood Commissions, is able to assist us with these kind of resources now, because it's always been something that's come out of pocket from our neighbors, and it's always been, you know, a stress imposed on neighbors that try to do these things, but now ANCs can actually assist. And if you were available during Commissioner McCrae's treasurer report, we do have the funds for this kind of grant. So if there's no other questions, I'll move on to the last two purchase items. We did get confirmation from our social media project manager that the cost for a custom 10 by 10 ANC tent that we can use at events or public spaces, pretty much to protect ourselves from the weather, aka the sun or the rain, would cost roughly $500. And that's a capped budget on that. And the purchase is being done through Fast Signs, as we worked with them before in the past for our yard signs. Was there any questions or comments from the commissioners on that kind of purchase? Okay, hearing none, I'll go to the next item, which is a purchase proposal for yard signs. If you click on the link, you'll directly see the yard signs that were used previously. They state basic information on when how to connect with us, and I'm just going to share it so you all can see it. Share screen. So if you're using your computers right now, if you're not using a phone, feel free to pull it out and use your camera to go over the QR code. If you click on that QR code, you'll get a list of resources available for any resident in ANC 5D. This is also information on how to connect with us, our office, as well as our address, when we hold our meetings, our website. We've made these these flyers before. We made this purchase before through Fast Signs, and we had about, I think it was 9 times 9. I think we've got 100 for $1,800. So I proposed to put a cap on this for 2,000 and to get enough for that. The yard signs were helpful to place around areas where we had good traffic. And if there's any interest to update them or change them, we can do that as well. But I figured it would be a good time to get some of these signs out again. Any comments or feedback on the signs?
Only that I communicated just before this that I did receive a handful of these, maybe 5 to 10 from former Commissioner Cobb.
Yeah.
And so I think I would affirm this, but just flagging as we make an order up to this amount that we can maybe calculate which one. It seemed to be in pretty good condition, but so I think we agree to this amount,
That's
and
good that
then
they
we
lasted for so
can
long.
yeah. So
Okay, good. Any other comments or feedback from the commissioners on the yard signs? I know a lot of y'all asked for some material to share on your blocks. Okay. With that being said, we do have those items that we have as consent calendar items. Let me go back to the agenda, sorry. We had the grant proposal, the purchase for yard signs, the purchase for a custom ANC tent, and the approval of our timesheet for our admin personnel, which is $270. Is there any other items that want to be discussed before I place a motion on the floor to approve the consent calendar items?
Real quick, can we get a total cost for all of these? I was trying to do some quick math, but I know we still have the pet waste bins. We have the other half of our historian project to pay for. And I just want to make sure we're not going over the amount that we actually have allotted right now. So just from a standpoint of knowing a total.
Yeah, this looks like it was a total of what, $7,200 plus our timesheet for our admin. So around 7,500 for these items right now.
Okay, cool. I'm trying to do some quick math because I know we said the pet waste bins wouldn't go over, I want to say it was 9,000. And then we have 4,000.
I think they were,
okay.
I think it might have been more. Okay, was that Commissioner? Because you're a treasurer, so you have to keep us on check with those things.
Yeah. I guess as we go forth, just when proposals are being made on the agenda, if we can tally up the total, that would be helpful to me. But we should be fine. I'll confirm that, but we should be in a good position financially. But just as we go forth, just because we are spending, and in the process of spending, I'll likely need to develop some type of spend plan just to make sure we're not outspending our allotted budget. But we should be fine just based on the balance we have.
Well, I'm happy you mentioned that because for us now it's budget season coming this fall. So at our next COW meeting, we need to discuss what that budget looks like. So hopefully me and you can work on what we spent this year so we can either mimic that appropriately or cut back where we need to make that, cut that fat off. So definitely it's something that's going to be discussed in the upcoming months because we as an ANC have to submit a budget to the Office of ANCs, I believe either in October or November. So that's something that we have to vote on and approve so we can get that sent over to the right offices. So I'm happy you mentioned that because it's definitely something that we're going to be working on. Okay. With that being said, I move that we approve the consent calendar items as amended tonight, which includes the admin personnel timesheet, a grant proposal for Trinidad Community event, a purchase proposal for ANC custom tent, and a purchase proposal for yard signs. Can I get a second on this motion?
Second.
second by Commissioner Roblin, I believe. Do we need to hold a discussion? Okay, we'll do roll call to get the vote for the minutes. 5D02,
Yes.
5D03,
Yes.
5D04,
Yes.
5D05 is a yes, 5D06,
Yes.
and 5D09.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries and that passes. We'll get in contact with the group that wanted the grant proposals approved and also get that material submitted to Fast Signs to get that marketing material made. With that being said, our last item is going back to that timesheet for the social media manager. As shared, the total excluding the items that were missing totals to $290. With that being said, I would like to place a motion on the floor to approve this timesheet as amended. Can I get a second on this motion?
Second.
Prior to doing that, I just can I make a suggestion maybe? Because I guess like I know it's empty, but I guess like I don't want to not pay somebody for work that they did, if that makes sense. So like,
are you asking to hold a discussion or not to let the motion?
Not to motion yet, to more so hold a discussion, because we would be voting right now to amend the timesheet without a discussion if we second it, right?
So you don't want, okay, so I'm just trying to get the procedure here correct. Do you want to discuss the amend? Okay, so if we're going to discuss this, it has to be after it's a second.
Okay.
So I think it was second by Commissioner G. Campbell.
Yes. Second.
Okay, perfect. So we'll open up to a discussion. Commissioner Craig, your concern is your concern is that you we're not paying them for work done.
Yeah, and like I don't know if maybe they have another timesheet that they're keeping. More so like getting clarity prior to amending someone's timesheet that isn't necessarily here. I feel like any kind of employer, like even when I think about it, they would probably, hey, you made a mistake here, or like something along those lines. I don't know if that is appropriate in this case, but just from a standpoint of, hey, like this looks like a shell, is there something you're holding on the side or you have on the side that you just didn't submit? I know it just, we're in a weird predicament because this is July and we're out in August, but it was just more so I just don't want to not pay someone for work that they may have done and this just not be reflected here.
It's not on us, it's on them because they didn't submit this information accordingly, and I don't think we should be approving a timesheet that's incomplete. We can't, there's no confirmation or formal receipt to prove that they did work there in those moments. So the only solution that I see here is either approving what's already been provided, what's been submitted, or waiting until September to get clarification and approve the full timesheet then. So we can either do one of those two things, or you could place a motion on the floor to approve it as presented, and we'll just let the commissioners decide that way as well. Any other comments or feedback?
Is there no way to approve it as amended, but also if they did do the additional work that we've removed due to the blank, that come up in a September meeting, if it does come up?
Oh yes, of course. They can always be paid, compensated for the work. But right now, the only reason I amended it as presented to us is because this is all that individual can prove that has. This is the only proof we have, so this is the only thing that we can approve. And if they can provide information on that if they can provide information that was missing later during our recess period, we can definitely compensate them in September. There's no issue there whatsoever.
Okay, all right. Well, then I'm good.
Commissioner Rhodes, you had a comment or a question?
I was asking, were we still in discussion? Because there is a question. I was going to ask the question, when did they turn in their timesheet?
They
There's
always have to. Go ahead, Andy. Thank you.
there's a question along the same lines in the question and answer. So just before you answer, I wanted to flag that. Someone's
Okay.
asking who is supposed to review these timesheets before the council meeting. So perhaps in the overall answer, you can include that as well.
Yeah, that includes myself and the vice chair, but we weren't aware that there was information missing here. And the timesheets are supposed to be submitted the day before we give out notice to the public meeting. So that's oversight on us to not properly check that, but I'm happy that we did look into it, because this is, when it comes to money, we have to look at these details even the night of. So I know our discussion time is over, but the motion that's on the floor right now is to approve the timesheet as amended with the information provided. It was a second by Commissioner G. Campbell, and we'll go ahead and start the vote to move forward with this item. 5D02.
Abstain.
5D03.
Yes.
5D04.
Yes.
5D05 is a yes. 5D06.
Yes.
And 5D09.
Yes.
Okay. This motion carries, and we'll approve that timesheet for $290. And we'll follow up with Mr. Rob Hoffman to clarify the missing information to compensate him accordingly if so. Okay, ladies and gentlemen and familia, if you're still here, thank you. Here's an opportunity for community feedback and questions. If you have a direct question you want to ask the ANC, please feel free to use the raise your hand function so you can ask the question directly, or drop it in the Q&A for us to ask the question for you. I do see one question from Alden Dollins, a clarification from an earlier comment in this Q&A. I'm trying to make sure that the ANC is aware that some DC council members are refusing to fund Initiative 83 regarding ranked choice voting, and to ask assistance in contacting the council members who are refusing to put funds in the budget to implement Initiative 83. The initiative passed with 73% of the vote and passed in all precincts, but is now effectively in limbo as so many have been allocated in the budget, as money has been allocated in the budget to implement this.
I think it should say
money has been
no
allocated.
money. No money.
Okay, as no money has been allocated in the budget to implement this initiative. Can you please apply what pressure you have available to encourage council members to include funding for this initiative in the budget? Any help on this would be a huge win for every precinct and every DC voter. Alden Dollins, can you confirm which council members are opposed to this, so we know who to approach with this? That way we can effectively use the time that we have to address these concerns. Feel free to send an email directly to me. My email is right there on my next to my name. And if you can confirm that information, that'll be really helpful for us.
And I would like to add to that you are very welcome to go to the Wilson building, and you can talk to the council members yourself, or you can take your neighbors, friends, family, anybody. You're very welcome to go to the Wilson building and ask them yourselves. The Wilson building belongs to us, to taxpayers.
Amen. Okay. Are there any other questions or comments or feedback from the community? Was there any other, anything else that the commissioners want to share with the public before we go adjourn?
One more thing, and I know it's late, but I'm hearing fireworks, and that was something that I forgot to talk to MPD about because we're still hearing these fireworks. I don't know if y'all can hear them over there, but they're far, so they might be in Trinidad, but I'm just not sure exactly how to handle that because if they're posted up on the street, they should be able to hear it too.
Right.
I'm not sure how to handle this.
It definitely should have been a question we should have asked. We weren't ready for that one, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if they're permissible for sale in DC, what constitutes illegal activity with them? Is it until you do property damage, or is noise complaint still a concern when it comes to these kind of items? So it's definitely something we can follow up with MPD about to get clarification and share it in our next newsletter. Thanks for bringing that up, Commissioner Rhodes, so we have that in the minutes. Okay, other than that, I know I said it's going to be a short meeting, but I mean, 4 minutes off of regular time is better than nothing, right? So with that being said, if no one else has anything else to share or say, anybody? Commissioner Roblin, Commissioner McCray, Commissioner G. Campbell, you got something to say? Nothing? Okay. With that being said, it's 9:56 p.m. I move that we adjourn tonight's meeting. It's been a good one, and it's time to get a break, right? So can I get a second on this motion?
Second.
Second by Commissioner G. Campbell. She's holding the seconds all night. Come on now. Quick discussion before I go to the vote. We're off next month. We're off next month. We have a recess next month. That means we don't have a meeting next month. We're off the clock next month from public meetings and interfacing publicly, but it does not mean that every ANC commissioner is not using their emails or available. Feel free to check in with them this month just to double check if they're also taking a personal break, because this is all volunteer-based work that we do for our communities, and best believe when we get a recess, we try to take advantage of it. So if you need to reach out to your commissioner, please do so accordingly this month. And if they're out of office next month, feel free to always direct any questions or comments or concerns directly to me as the chair. But with that being said, there's a motion on the floor, second by Commissioner G. Campbell. All in favor of adjourning tonight's meeting at 9:57 p.m., say aye.
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 Commissioner Roblin, you're muted. Come on, we're trying to get out of here.
If we have a quorum,
You ready?
do we have a quorum?
Come on, Commissioner Roblin, say aye.
Do we have a quorum?
Thumb up. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. Thumbs up. Okay, that's the aye for me. Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen and family. Y'all enjoy the rest of your night and be safe this summer. Please do.
Good night.
Please do.
Good
Please
night.
do.
Bye.